I asked over 200,000 RVers for the biggest RV hacks they wish they had known sooner. And here are the top 20 tips and tricks that I heard. Number 1, use seafoam in your gas tank when you put your RV into storage. I love this tip. If you don't know, seafoam is a brand name of gas stabilizer. You can get it at O'Reilly's, AutoZone, basically any auto parts store. And if you're going to be putting your RV, specifically your motorhome, into storage for longer than 3 months, I would highly recommend putting gas stabilizer or seafoam into your gas tank. It's going to prevent your gas from going bad and help guarantee that when you go pick up your RV in a couple months that you'll be able to drive it out of storage. A bonus hack to this, gas actually goes bad in smaller amounts faster than in larger amounts. And so gas is most often going to go bad in your generator faster than it will go bad in your gas tank for like your motorhome, for instance. So if you're going to put your RV into storage or you're not going to be using your generator for a long time, I have a video here that will show you how to put the seafoam directly into your generator if you don't want to put it into your general gas tank, or you can just put the seafoam into your gas tank and then just make sure to run your generator for about 15 minutes to make sure that it's made it into all of the nooks and crannies of your generator. This will help make sure that your generator is there for you when you need to run it in an emergency. Number 2, I heard so many people talk about getting a countertop ice maker for their RV. I personally haven't done this and hadn't seen a lot of customers doing it, but a bunch of people commented this when I asked for hacks. And I think this is actually a pretty smart idea, especially for people living in really hot environments. So if you have an absorption style fridge, which is any fridge in an RV that has a gas setting, so it can be ran on electric or propane, those fridges are really temperamental. And even when they're working at their best, like my parents have one of the best operating absorption style fridges I have ever seen, they tend to still struggle to make ice consistently. Like usually you get an ice hunk, but it's a little slushy, you know what I mean? So if you're someone that really likes a cold beverage, this can be a really great way to make sure you have guaranteed ice. It can also free up space in your freezer. If that's something that you're fighting with, you can take out the ice maker that's built into your fridge. And this also means that you can take that ice and put it into your fridge, like basically just throw it in a bag, throw it in the fridge if it's a really hot day out and your fridge is struggling to make temperature. What a lot of people don't know is those absorption style fridges are really dependent on the outside air in order to cool themselves. So if it's above like 85 degrees outside, your fridge may be struggling to get to temp. And so in those days, you could use this countertop ice maker to make some ice, put it in the fridge to just help your fridge stay at temp. These countertop ice makers I've saw tend to cost between like 60 to 100 bucks. And for some people, I think this could be really life-changing. Hack number 3, put a rug on the floor. My parents actually do this and it has been life-changing for their RV specifically. The rug not only adds an extra layer of insulation, so it helps prevent heat from draining out of your RV in the cold or heat getting in the summer, but it also just makes the floor less cold on your footsies, especially in the winter. This is pretty life-changing. Hack number 4, getting additional cup holders from auto parts stores to add places to put your drinks in and around your RV. Love this idea, hadn't heard of it myself. You can get these things at AutoZone, O'Reilly's, pretty much anywhere, and can make sure that you've got a stable place to put a drink anywhere in your RV. Tip number 5, get more truck than you think you need. This can be a biggie. I cannot tell you how many people I have seen towing RVs where the entire truck looks like it's bogging down and is definitely not big enough or prepped enough to tow the rig that they are pulling. But a thing I think a lot of people don't realize is that around 80% of the braking capacity of your truck comes from the front tires. This is why when you go to get maintenance done on your truck, you often have to change the front brakes about 3 times as often as the back brakes. It's because those front brakes are what is stopping your vehicle the most. So when you overload your truck and bog down the back, we've all seen those trucks driving around where it looks like the back is pitched down and the front is shooting up to the sky. That means means you're taking weight off of the front wheels and you are greatly reducing the stopping power of your truck, which is terrifying when you're towing these big RVs behind you. The biggest thing here is if you go to a dealership to buy a fifth wheel or a bumper pull, people will often ask the sales guy, oh, is my truck big enough to pull this thing? And you should never trust what the salesperson says. They're just there to make a deal and make sure that they can get you off the lot. Look up what the towing capacity is for your truck and make sure that there is a good sized buffer between that towing capacity and what your RV weighs. Keeping in mind that the sticker weight, basically the weight that the dealership says that this RV weighs, does not include you piling it full of your stuff. Yeah, this one is a big safety thing. Tip number 6, learning what can work when you're boondocking versus when you're plugged into shore power. This is a big thing that I talk about all the time on this channel. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten a call as a tech to come out and fix something that just was never going to work because the person was boondocking. So if you don't know, in RVs, there are 2 types of power, DC power and AC power. DC comes from your batteries, and that runs things like your lights, your slides, your leveling jacks, and all of your propane appliances. AC power usually comes from plugging into shore power, but it could also come from a fancy inverter if you have like a big solar setup, or from a generator. And we bring in AC power to run our more power intensive appliances like your air conditioner, your fridge if you want to turn it on to electric, or your water heater if it has an electric setting. AC power will also run things like your outlets, those all need AC power, and your microwave. So just so we're all on the same page, if you're not plugged into shore power, or have your generator running, or have a large solar setup with an inverter, none of those AC appliances are going to work. So that's just a great thing to keep in mind. This is something that a lot of RVers don't understand, especially if you're like a camp queen who's always going to a campsite and never unplugs. If all at once your air conditioner and your microwave and your outlets all stop working, but you still have lights and your water heater is still working on propane, that's a pretty good sign that you've lost shore power and should maybe go check your pedestal. Tip number 7, get an adjustable shower rod for your shower. This way you can make your shower smaller when you're not using it, make it larger when you are. A bonus hack to this that people didn't bring up when I asked, but I have seen people do, is use a command hook to move the shower head up onto the ceiling if you need a little extra height. This can be helpful for RVers like my boyfriend and I. I'm 5'3", my boyfriend's 6'3", and cannot tell you how many showers, especially in RVs, that he walks into and they're only cleaning him from like the nipples down. So if you live with someone or you are someone who is on the taller side, that can help you get the full shower experience. Hack number 8, if you're having to slam your doors to close them, there's a really good chance that the kicker plate is your whole problem. If you don't know, the kicker plate is that plate that the latch actually clicks into, and sometimes they just move out of place or need to be adjusted. You can usually just loosen the screws a little bit, give it a little bit of a wiggle, tighten them back down, and that'll often solve your problem. I've also seen people throw just like a little bit of Vaseline onto the kicker plate just to make that closing motion just a little bit more smooth and have you be fighting the door a little bit less. But these are all really easy adjustments that you can do yourself. Hack number 9, getting Turkish cloth towels. You can get towels that are a little bit thinner, which I know you're like, Emily, then it doesn't work as well. I promise. These sort of like fancy, and I say fancy, but they're not that expensive. It's just a type of cloth that's thinner than the traditional terry cloth bathrobe-y towel that you're probably more accustomed to, but they're way thinner. They take up less space. They're still super absorbent. Like I've never had a problem drying myself off using these, and they just take up way less space in your RV and don't get like sand and dirt stuck in them if you're someone that likes to go out to the beach a lot. So yes, I've used these and I highly recommend. Hack number 10, check your slides before you leave the dealership, especially those slide seals. I personally recommend that people get a full inspection done, especially if you're buying an RV from a dealership, and especially if you're buying a really expensive new RV. Highly recommend getting a third-party inspection to help prevent problems like this. But if you're trying to do some of this on your own, when we talk about the seals, there's usually a rubber flap that goes around the entirety of the slide slide, and it's supposed to flap out as the slide goes out, and it flaps in as the slide comes in. And that's providing your weatherproofing. It's trying to keep warm air in, cool air out in the winter, prevents bugs from getting in, prevents water from getting in. That seal is super, super important. And especially if this RV has been sitting on the lot for a long time, that seal can often get cracked or break entirely. A really great way to look for this is to, one, just look around the whole thing with your eyes, but also you can go inside the RV, turn off all the lights, and then look out along the edge of the slide and see if you can see any light coming in. Anywhere where light can come in means water can also get in, and bugs and bad insulation and all that good stuff. So that's a really good thing to keep an eye out for. If you want to find out other things that you can look for if you're trying to buy your own RV yourself without having to pay for a whole inspection, because that's not in the budget for you, check out this video where I talk about a bunch of tricks like this. Hack number 11. I have never heard of this. But this person swore by it. If you are at a campsite for a very long time, you are fully hooked up and don't want to break camp to go have to dump your black tanks, you can apparently call a porta potty dumping company and they will come dump your tanks for you without you having to break camp. I looked it up. This is probably like an $80 to like $115, don't quote me on it, but that was sort of the general range every time. So that's personally not where I'm spending $80. I'd be spending it on wine. But especially if you don't have a ton of mobility and don't want to have to break camp, I totally get it. And that's something that you can look into. So, hey, if that was new news to you, let me know in the comments. Hack number 14, budget for things to go wrong in your RV. Oof, as a tech who comes and shows up when things go wrong and have had to have many conversations about finances with people, I totally get this one. It's rough. It's super exciting to buy a new RV, and then you realize just how much maintenance and how much often things break in these things. That's just something to keep in mind. People think of RVing as like a cheaper alternative to vacationing or to living in a house, and very, very often it is not. If you're someone that does try to budget for things to go wrong, two big ones I usually tell people is that I would expect to have to change out your batteries if you have lead acid batteries about every 2 to 3 years, closer to 2 if you live somewhere wicked hot like here in Las Vegas, closer to 3 if you live somewhere a little cooler. And of course that all depends on how often you use your batteries and how well you maintain them. Replacing a single battery is probably going to be $150 to $200, maybe a little bit over bucks, and you have to do that every couple of years. And then currently the big box RV store near me is charging almost $500 for a single mobile call. And I would just keep in the budget that you're probably going to have to call a tech at least once a year, especially if you're not particularly handy. If you get to the end of the year and you didn't have to make that call, go use that money to buy yourself some more wine. More uplifting. Hack 15, tension rods have a million uses in RVs. We're talking about like you get ones for shower curtains, but they also make smaller ones anywhere you need a place to hang some laundry, lean bottles against, all that good stuff. Everything in your RV should basically be pulling double duty, and this is a really easy way to transform different spaces in your RV. Hack number 16, this person said they didn't know if this was a hack or not, but they go up on their roof all the time. Girl, and I know a woman said this, yes, total hack. I personally recommend that people go up on their roofs at least twice a year. Things that you're looking for. Check out that decor. You're looking for cracks. Anything bigger than like the width of your thumbnail is a place where water can get in. And honestly, just spending like 10 minutes on your roof twice a year just to keep an eye out for like any cracks in your decor or any rips in the roof could help prevent you from getting like massive water damage down the road and having to like replace your roof, which is a multi-$1,000 investment. So 10 minutes of your time every now and again, put a little bloop of decor here or there. I think a decor is like maybe 20 bucks. Trying to remember off the top of my head. I usually buy it in bulk. But yeah, 20 bucks, 10 minutes of your time could save you thousands of dollars and so much headache. So much headache. Huge hack. This is a hack, we'll take it. Hack number 17, knowing that you don't need to get RV specific parts a lot of the time. I cannot tell you how much the RV industry just like takes normal parts, labels them for RV, and jacks up the price. Like, it happens all the time. There definitely are some things out there that are RV specific, like an RV toilet, for instance, is very different from like a residential toilet you might have in your house. But like your plumbing, for instance, all the parts for those you can usually find at like Lowe's or Home Depot in their plumbing aisle. It's called PEX tubing. Like every major hardware store has this. Big hack here, at least for me, at the Home Depot and Lowe's in town that I go to all of the time. If you're going in there and looking for a part and an employee comes up to you and asks if they can help you, just tell them that like the part number that you're looking for or the specific part that you're looking for, or hold up 2 pieces of PEX and go, I just need the connector that lets me make a right angle between these. Don't tell them that you're doing this in an RV. For some reason, all the employees are scared of RVs, or maybe that's just the case here in town. But every time I'm like, yep, just fixing the plumbing in an RV, they're like, oh, we don't have parts for that here. I'm like, you literally do. I'm holding the part that I'm replacing that's broken, and it's the exact same thing here. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. This is the same thing. And they're like, oh no, we don't sell RV parts. So, you know more than the Lowe's employee. Yes, they do. They sell RV plumbing. I had the exact same problem. My last job before I fixed RVs was building illusions for magicians. Can I tell you how often they would ask me like, oh, what do you need this part for? And I'd be like, to saw a lady in half. I get it. That's a helpful question like 99% of the time, but I just happen to only work in industries where that is not a helpful question. Hack number 18, the importance of VHB tape. Oh my God, I had totally forgotten until somebody commented this, how much I love VHB tape, which is a dumb thing to love. But if you don't know, VHB tape is like super adhesive double-sided tape. And wowza, you can use this stuff for like anything. In my previous job, building illusions for magicians, we use this stuff all the time. It does have a little bit of a thickness to it, just so you know, like editing Emily here. I don't know why my camera kicked out there, but all you need to know about VHB tape is it's extremely strong, extremely durable. It'll work well out in the elements, so you can use it on the outside of your rig if you just need to put like a hook or something on. But do know that you should consider whatever you're sticking on to be permanent. I'm not saying it's never going to fall off, but it's a good chance that thing's going to be on there for a long, long, long time. So this tape is awesome, but use it wisely. Oh, I love VHB tape. Thank you, whoever commented this, for unlocking a memory I forgot I had. This stuff's amazing. Hack number 18. Oh, that I should listen to my wife more when things go wrong in my RV. I just had to throw this in here because this is the RV Repairwoman YouTube channel. I know a majority of my audience are men, and my content is for anyone that owns an RV. But if I'm out there just like making any woman feel more confident in being able to use tools and fix things in and around their RV, like that's why I wake up in the morning. That's why I make these YouTube videos. I make them for all RVers, but just like a little special part of my heart opens up when I hear about women being more confident in their RV. Like, oh, isn't that so cool? That's why I make this channel. Okay, moving on. We're not being emotional and vulnerable anymore. We're talking about hacks. Hack number 19 was something someone commented that I vehemently disagree with. Their hack was to leave the gray water tank open all the time. And I'm just gonna firmly disagree with this. I don't think this is a hack. We're Xing this off of our list. Personally, I recommend when you're dumping your black and gray tanks is if you're first hooking up, open up your gray tank just a little bit to let a little bit of gray water out, just to make sure that like you don't have any leaks. And if you do, you're finding out with gray water, not poo water. Then close the gray tank up, leave most of that in there. Then do the black tank, let that all drain out, close the black tank, and then open the gray tank and use all of the water from the gray tank to push out anything black that might have been left in your tube. And this way, what's left hanging in the tube is, again, gray water, not black water, which I'd much rather interact with. Thank you for commenting, and if this brings you joy in your life, I guess continue, but personally for me, this is not a hack I subscribe to. But I want to put on here, are there other people out there that really love doing this? Please let me know in the comments. And then hack number 20 is something I talked about in a recent video, and it's how to bypass the slide out module and open a troublesome slide in a jiffy. So pretty much any type of slide, there is some sort of way to bypass the regular mechanism in order to get it in if you are stuck somewhere. A lot of the times it involves having a drill and a socket, and you just need to find like the super secret place to put that socket and that drill, and you can just like manually turn the motor or manually rotate the pump to bring everything in. But if you don't know how to do this, one, I talk about a little bit in this video where I'm talking about tools you want to have in your RV, but also know that pretty much every slide or leveling system out there is probably made by Lippert. They make basically like all the weird mechanism things that you find in RVs. Like 90% of the time now it's Lippert. They own like everyone. So if you just put in the type of slide you have, then the word Lippert, then override, they actually make really great tutorials on how to override these things and how to work a lot of their stuff on their YouTube channel. So I guess bonus hack, if you don't already, go subscribe to the Lippert YouTube channel. It's not that you're going to watch their videos every week, but just to remind yourself that it's there if you're ever stuck in a bind. And two, if you don't know how to override either your slide or your leveling jack system, go look it up and know that information now so you have it in your noggin, or go write it down. So that way, if you ever are stuck somewhere where you really need to get your slides and your jacks up and get the hell out, you're not stuck. Okay, but that's it. Those are the 20 hacks in less than 20 minutes to help you save you time, money, and energy in your RV. If you would like to learn other tips and tricks that you can use around your RV to save yourself some major moolah, check out this video here. And in the meantime, this has been RV Repair Woman. You got this.